Hello everybody, Mr. Sticksman here, and welcome back to Marble World. This is a project that I've been working on recently, and today we're going to do some building on it. Okay then, so this is my brand new marble run, and as you can see, the main theme of it is kind of like, cliffs and waterfalls and rock pools and tunnels and all sorts of things. There's a lot more to add, and that's why we're going to be building more of it today. And in fact, this is the section that we're going to be working on today. So it's a rock pool which falls down into a waterfall, and then we're going to have a plunge pool area down here with sand and rocks, maybe a few trees, stuff like that. And then it comes down here into a river and underneath a bridge, which this is going to be a bridge eventually. This part of the track will change a bit, and then it sort of goes up and tries to loop round back to the start again. Anyway, before we get into actually building more of this track, let's spawn in some marbles and watch them go around it. And I've got 52 marbles here, all of them my own viewers. And unfortunately, if you chose a specific design or colour, the game doesn't remember that every time I respawn them in. So unfortunately, you may not have the one you requested. But otherwise, everything should be okay. Anyway, let's put the barrier down. And they're off, going into the first corner. So we've got some transparent green tunnels here. As they come around, that just keeps them on the track. They go through a flood caused by the waterfall, around this corner, through the tunnel, through another tunnel, around this rock pool which has a shark in it. And then there's more bends here, like a really sharp bend, smashing into a rock which is part of a landslide, due to this waterfall here. Then they go into this transparent spiral here, which I don't know, this might change, it might stay there, I'm not quite sure yet, but it's pretty cool, isn't it? It's quite good fun to see that. And we go around the corner through another tunnel. Then there's some boosters. Now this here is going to be the bridge that goes over our river, which we're hopefully going to be building later in the video, around this spiral. Now all of this section is subject to change. They go into the rock pool here, which is definitely going to stay though, and then down the plug hole, which is the waterfall, and then the river, of course, under the bridge, which will be the bridge later on, into this sort of box here, and up the escalator. And then this is kind of where, the track finishes off and goes back to the start again. Now I've had a lot of trouble with this section, so this is probably going to change as well, but I've got some really, really cool ideas. So we might get into that today or another time, I'm not too sure. But yeah, this will look very, very different and way better eventually. I've got some really cool ideas for it. Anyway, let's despawn these marbles now and get into some building. Okay, so this is the section we're going to be working on today. And the rock pool is staying there. The waterfall here is going to stay there as well. What we're going to do is kind of build around it. And the first thing I want to add is a sandy area. So we're going to have kind of sand up in the front here, and then maybe some rocks behind it, right? So let's just get some decorations here, shapes, and we're going to choose one of the big boards, so just chuck that there for now. And then what we're going to do is position it maybe sort of, let's just put it out here, for example, make sure it's not colliding with anything else. And then the best way I find to do this, because if we want to sort of duplicate them, is just to do Control-C, Control-V, copy it, and leave grid mode on so it's nice and lined up here. And we just drag that into place, okay, like that. Now this might be a big enough area, but we don't want it to go into the pipe, so we're just going to have to move it out this way a bit. There we go. Now, of course, in this area, this is where the actual plunge pool is going to be, so that's going to be water, right? This is going to be blue to kind of match the pipe and the tubing and stuff. I'm just thinking it might be quite cool, actually, to have these boards inside the pipe a bit, because they're not going to touch it, right? When they come down here, they're going to be on the bottom of the pipe. But what's cool is if we just paint these blue for a second, so painting, transparency, and blue, it looks like the pipe is actually part of the water. So I reckon we're going to stay with that for a bit, and maybe the sand can go just in front of it if we just move these back a bit. Then we're going to copy and paste these two and put them over here, except they're going to be yellow instead. Now, of course, it's not going to look like just 4 squares. We are going to decorate around the edges of them, and it will look very kind of natural, hopefully, when it's all done. But that is the general idea. We can also wrap some sand around here if we want to. So, for example, if we get smaller, let's see, what have we got here? We've got some smaller ones. And we can do that kind of thing, and then paint those yellow, right? So the sand kind of wraps around the plunge pool there, and then we can do that on the other side. So we'll just copy and paste them, like this. And drag them over. Very cool. Now this track piece here, right, is in the way, and as I said earlier, this is probably going to change. So because we want to be able to see this feature, right? It's going to look pretty good, I hope, anyway. So we want to get rid of this track, to be honest. and you know, expose it, and we can just bring the track over the bridge here. So this bridge is going to still be there, but the track can come wider perhaps and then go up in this direction, give it a nice wide berth, and so we can really see this location, and I think that should be really good. Now I am going to move this back a bit more though. I don't mind having these decorations into the pipe as long as they don't interact with the marbles at all, and I think I've selected everything. Let's try that. But yeah, we'll just move it back a bit and see where that's going here. I reckon that might be the limit, but we'll have to test it in a minute. But some of the marbles might actually hit that. So I'm going to test it now by putting in a marble spawner, a different kind of spawner. And hang on a minute, where have they come from? I've just spawned some more in by mistake. How did that happen? If we hold that button, it just spawns in loads of flips. Apparently there's a million flips on screen. Anyway, let's try that again. Yeah, they seem to be alright. They're not getting stuck on here, are they? So I reckon we can leave the water there and carry on for now. Now, there are going to be some rocks here, but I reckon we should take the water back a bit with some smaller pieces as well. So we'll just get one of these things, and we'll bring this back here and just go next to the pipe, right? Because we'll just get as close as we can. That'll probably be quite good, I reckon. And then we'll just copy that and put it over the other side as well. We'll paint them blue in a minute, of course. Right, okay, so I think that's pretty good, and then we can just make some of them, you know, transparent blue as well. So it looks like there's a proper... Yeah, there we go, that's better. And, yeah, we'll probably have some rocks right around the back here, so let's get into that now. Let's put some rocks down, decorations, props. We've got about 7 different types of rock here, varying in, you know, size and shape. But you can't resize them, so you have to kind of just use what you've got at the moment anyway. So we'll just chuck some down and see what happens, really. But you can rotate them in any direction, so we're going to be doing lots of that. But you can see already, guys, that is beginning to look like a proper plunge pool. Let's choose one of the other big pieces here. Did I use this one yet? Which one did I use? I'm trying to use different ones. And we'll have it curving around here. Let's just rotate that, and actually, let's turn it upside down as well to see how that looks. That's it. We'll just do that for now. Lovely jubbly. Okay. Now let's come around this side and add some over there. Maybe try some of these smaller ones as well. We don't have to cover up all of the yellow, of course. It might be quite cool to see a bit of the sand. If we can, though, we'll try and cover up these gaps as best as possible without, you know, putting anything inside the pipes. And that's possibly what's going to be a bit tricky there. But we'll use the smaller rocks for that. So let's get some of these down here as well. I really do think if we could resize the rocks, it would be amazing. It'd be so much easier. I mean, we can actually, if we go to shapes here, we could use these tiny squares as well. They might be quite handy. Just, there we go. I have to put grid mode off there, I think. And just bring it right up to the edge. Is that in the pipe? No, it's not. Brilliant. I've also got these triangular pieces here which we could use. It's actually really hard to match these up because they don't snap. Like the track pieces can actually snap into position, but these ones, as far as I know, because that's snap mode, and I don't think they actually do. But if they did snap, it'd be way easier to do this stuff. That's pretty good, isn't it? It's not perfect by any means, but we can always upgrade it later on. Let's leave it and carry on for now. So we want to get some more rocks in here. I reckon we want to get some bigger, taller ones. So let's go back into props here. And let's try and chuck some of those. In fact, I will rotate that a bit. Make sure we don't have any repetition going on. Some of the rocks have gone inside the pipe now, so I'm going to move them back a bit just to make sure they're completely out. Because the marbles will actually be going down. They might touch them at this part of the pipe. Oh, there's some up there as well, look. I did not know that before. Okay, and then we'll move this one back as well. Perfect. What do you reckon, guys, so far? Let me know in the comments down below if you think this is a good idea. And, you know, what else would you like to see on this track as well? Any sort of unique features or ideas that I could build? Bearing in mind we've got, you know, fairly simple shapes at the moment, but more might be added in the future. I do have plenty of ideas, plenty of things to add, but feel free to, yeah, let me know if you've got any suggestions there. Anyway, let's just carry on. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I might try to put some trees or, you know, plant life in here as well. The only things we've really got that can represent that are these hedges, right? So I'm not too sure like how I'm going to do this. I'm just going to try something, and if it looks terrible, we'll get rid of it. And now I present to you the worst tree I've ever made. Let's get rid of it. Anyway, what we're going to do now is actually bring the sand down a level and then maybe open up the tubes. We don't have half pipes at the moment, which is a bit of a shame, but what we can do is bring this down here. So we'll just copy that. paste it, and well, we are going to match them up, but then we're going to separate them a bit, like this. Okay, so we've just separated them. So now hopefully, oh no, we need to put them a bit further, and then we're going to bring them down to kind of line up just with the center of the pipe there, like this, and then we're going to bring it along. Okay, so we just copy and paste that, and because we've got this ledge here, we're now going to try and work out how to just cover it up with rocks or something. Okay, so we'll go into shapes again and get some more rocks, I suppose. If in doubt, just get a couple of rocks and chuck them down, and hopefully it'll solve the issue. That's what I think. So we'll just put that down there, and then maybe we'll get, they're quite big actually. Even the smaller ones are quite large in some situations, aren't they? That's pretty good. Just to cover up the edge, we'll use one of these massive ones. That's it. And then we'll try and rotate it a bit. Maybe we can put it upside down, like that. That looks pretty good, I reckon. Yeah. And it will just cover up any kind of ledge there. Yes, brilliant. Okay, now this part, of course, we have to be a bit careful about, but for the most part, I think that's quite good. Then we can use another different big piece over here, look, and cover up that as well. Alright, check that out from here. That's really cool, isn't it? I think that's cool. Anyway, let me know what you think, guys. I mean, if we get any palm trees or tropical vegetation, I'll definitely add that as, you know, as actual props here. I just don't know the best way. I can, you know, I might try some more ideas in the future. We'll certainly, you know, we won't give up on the idea, but for now, we don't want to get stuck on it, so let's just carry on. Okay, so this is our bridge here now, and of course it doesn't go down on the other side, so we'll just get rid of all of this track and actually move it down over here. Luckily, the straight bit is exactly over the river. It's quite high up, actually, isn't it? I suppose I could lower it down a bit, to be honest. Although we can fit more stuff underneath it. I'll tell you what, we'll just build it, and then we can always move it later if we want to. So I'll just grab this piece of track here, paste it, bring it along, and then we'll just flip it round, essentially. There we go. Right, so of course I will have, you know, supports coming down here which go into the sand and hold up the bridge, and maybe some railings on it as well. I've just added a bit more track here now so that it's kind of even on both sides, right? The track is now symmetrical. I think for now, I'm just going to take this track and curve it round, take it up and connect it up here, just, you know, as a temporary solution, because I'm not quite sure how I want to get the marbles back up yet, and if I want to have any more detailed features over here. So I'm just going to do that so the track works, then, you know, in the future we can sort that out. But let me know if you've got any ideas about how we should get our marbles back up to the top of the rock pool here. Okay guys, so I've come up with a temporary solution here to join the track back up to the rock pool at the top after the bridge. And as you can see, the marbles are just coming round now, so we're going to see if it works. I've literally not tested this yet, so I don't know what's going to happen, but it is working so far. Okay, there's plenty of speed there, isn't there? Is anybody falling off? I don't think so. We may have to put up some extra barriers here just to make sure nobody falls off. But it seems alright at the moment. And now they're on the next set of escalators, which also seem to be working just fine, actually. I'm just going to pause it here and add a booster in, because I reckon we're going to need it. So decorations, physics, then we'll have a booster here. And we don't want it to be too strong, because if it is really powerful, it's actually going to make the marbles fall off the track over in this section. So I'll just make sure that's centered. And then we'll set this to, like, let's try 30, for example, and just see if 30 power is enough. Right, I've just spawned in some more by mistake. Never mind, there's a second set coming around here now. Is that enough power? Yeah, it seems to be. I mean, that's a flat bed of track, right? It's not going uphill there, so it should be plenty. We just don't want it to be too much. Nice, and they come down here, of course. This is our waterfall with our new plunge pool area, and they're going underneath the ground there, through the river. Oh, that's brilliant, guys. That's working really well. And again, this is only a temporary solution just to get the marbles round. So of course it's going to look way better in the future. We will of course paint it as well. There we go, got some painting going on here. But next, what I think we should do to finish off the video is actually add some supports here, right, to hold up the bridge and make it look like an actual bridge. So let's go and do that now. I'm going to try and have some marbles just going around the track while we're building. I think that's going to be alright. So there we go. We're going to leave them to it, and hopefully we can build while, you know, while they're going around. Now, supports here. So let's go into decorations, shapes, and, well, you know, is this the kind of thing we want? Or, yeah, I think we want the longer ones here. So let's get this and just rotate it. And again, the cool thing is that when you get one, when you get one of these posts or supports in the right kind of place, you have to copy and paste it and take it over to the other side, and it's much easier that way. So we'll take this up as far as we can, because, yeah, that's quite good, isn't it? And then we'll just try and bring it along to the edge, and maybe we can cover up that gap. I'm not sure if that's the best idea. We could try and cover up the gap with it as well, if you see what I mean. Oh no, I think Elliot's come off the track. Oh no. Oh, Elliot, you're off. Never mind. Oh no, we've got loads off the track. What's happening? Some of them are over here. Some of them are over here. That's very strange. It's quite rare for that to happen, to be honest. Okay, anyway, it doesn't really matter for now. We'll figure that out another time. Okay, now we're going to copy that and paste it over here on the other side. And that's perfect right about there. Okay, so that's the kind of thing we're going for. Do you know what though, guys? I'm not sure I want to have any sort of railings on the top. I don't know. We'll leave it for now, but I might not do that. I'll have to see how it goes. We'll just copy both of these now and bring them back here. And the job is going to be done much quicker that way. And there we go. We've got 4 posts. Now we can paint them orange just to make it easier to see what's going on. Nice. There we are. Now we could just leave it like that, but I think a bit more detail, would be good, wouldn't it? So let's copy one of these things and rotate it 90 degrees so it's going across. Now, I'm not a professional bridge builder, so this might not be the best way of making a bridge, but I just want it to look good and, somewhat in the theme of the build here. Okay, that's cool. And then, of course, we want to have some diagonal supports as well. Oh, no, I've just realised that Dyson-chan has actually been stuck in the pipe. Now, that's what I didn't want to happen. It's only one, though. That's very odd, isn't it? But that's exactly what I was talking about earlier, where, they can get stuck in the pipe because we've got other things just sort of poking into it a bit. Okay, so the bridge is done. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. But I reckon it's okay. It's definitely not, a professionally constructed bridge or anything. But it looks pretty good. And I reckon it ties in quite nicely with the area as well. I've also painted this section of the track as well, even though it's temporary, it just looks a bit better. It just finishes it off quite well for the moment. Alright guys, well that's pretty much all the building that we're going to get done today. However, I will do one more run in a minute. Now I should explain that the bridge, there's a bit of a problem with it, okay? So I think I've solved it for the most part, but there is an issue where a lot of marbles were getting stuck on the bridge. And so I've done some testing and some adjusting here. I've had to make the boosters a bit weaker. So I think they were on like 40% power and now they're on like 25 instead. Basically the marbles were coming up here and then hitting some kind of invisible wall or object and then bouncing off the bridge on the other side. And then some of them would get stuck and hit into other marbles and come back here and get stuck down there. And then eventually the whole pack would just get stuck here and, and no one would get through. So hopefully I've solved that issue, but it might actually happen just as a warning. Anyway, let's just go up here and spawn in some more marbles and see if we can get this to work. There we go. So the pack is now in, 52 marbles. Coming around the corner here, Pauliano Gaming is in first place, AS Eclipse in second place there, and I think Cameron might be, no wait, oh Cameron has just skipped ahead into second place, overtaking AS Eclipse, and there's so many so many names I can't see where everyone is, but Cameron's second, yeah, there we go. Artsy is in fourth place, I believe. Then we've got Wave, I think that is, and Bot Melker there. Who's at the back? Oh no, the middle one is at the back currently, and Hoverbloke as well. Okay, we'll just head down here. And they're just coming out the spiral now. Pauliano Gaming, AS Eclipse and Cameron and Artsy. Now this is the part, guys, where they may not get through, but hopefully most people will. Maybe everyone. Look at that, it's much better than before now. We were getting a lot of problems here. There we go, look, you can see them actually. If I just pause the game. Now I'm going to put this thing into slow motion, right? So we'll just turn the time down here and just watch what happens as these ones come through. And hopefully we can see what goes on. Look at that, they're hitting something here. It might be this post, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, it could be. But they're hitting that and then jumping over, and some of them are actually like flying off the track before. But because we've got less power on the boosters, and look at that, I think everyone may have gotten through. Yes, everyone. So let's just speed it up to normal speed now. Everyone has come through without getting stuck. Thank goodness for that. And now they're all on the escalator. Germanic is just gone on there at the end. Anyway, the first couple are off now onto the other escalators here as they go up, and then down into the rock pool, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this actually looks when the marbles are coming down the waterfall and, you know, under the bridge. I think that's going to be really cool. Right, here we go, off the escalators now, the first couple there, miles ahead of everyone else, and hopefully they're going to get up here without falling off. I think they should do. Then there's the second pack behind there, and these two are already going down. Is Cameron going to make it? Yes, Cameron just does, and somebody else almost catches up. I think that's Dragon, almost caught up, and Leo is there now. Robert as well, Dino Boo, and a whole bunch of other people. But this looks really cool, actually. I really like that. That's pretty cool, isn't it? And then they go down the river there. If we had half pipes in the game, guys, I would actually open this up at some point so we can see them, you know, outside of the tube. But at the moment you can't do it. And the Game Vlogger and Pauliano Gaming, unfortunately, have ended up on the carpet. What a shame. And they come round here into the box, and then of course up. And AS Eclipse, I think, has won this lap. Definitely, by miles. Followed by, look at that, we've got Leo there, Dragon, Dino Boo, Cameron, and a load of other people. Ian. That is brilliant. See, most people go onto the left-hand side here, but some go onto the right. I just thought I'd make a double escalator to make it more interesting, really, to make this box wider as well. And then they come off back to the start, and they're going round again, look. And goodness me, AS Eclipse is already down here, going into the spiral. And look at that from above, guys. That's mad, isn't it? It's so... like, everybody is just all over the track. That's really, really cool. Okay, guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this video today. It's been a lot of fun making this, and I can't wait to build more of it in the future. But yeah, there's some really good updates coming up for this game. Maybe this week, actually, on Friday, or maybe next week. I think it's going to be about every 2 weeks. We'll get some new content, and the workshop is coming out, and hopefully that will enable me to actually do some, you know, some more frequent videos on this game as well. But I really, really love it. Please do let me know if you've enjoyed this track, if you want me to do more of this in the future, you know, build other tracks as well, more racing as well. There are some real racing features coming up in a future update, not too far away, I hope. We can get some proper leaderboards and everything. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video. Anyway, that's it for now. Take care, and I hope to see you all very, very soon. Bye for now.